Hey guys, is the video working? Yeah, cool. Hey guys, Rob here. I'm the head of UX at nuom, and I just thought I'd do a little vlog. One, just say hi. This is probably our third video that we put on YouTube, and one of those has got our developer Andrew in there. But I thought I'd say hi, and also this video here is as a head of UX, and I've been hiring UX designers, junior UX designers for like about 2 years or so. It's fairly new-ish to me, like I said, only 2 years. But I get CVs and applications and portfolios every single day. I get recruiters asking me like what they want, what you companies want from junior UX designers, and also I see a lot of videos. Like if I ever do anything, look for anything on UX on YouTube, I get loads of videos of people saying what UX designers should do to stand out and all this kind of stuff. And to be honest, most of the information out there is crap. It's nonsense. It's rubbish. Um, not all of it, but some of it. Like it's outdated. But I think as someone who's recently learned how to do this and has to do it on a daily basis, I think I might be able to share some. Sorry, I'm just in the office at the moment on my own. I might be able to share some insights. So I'm going to give it away 3 or 4 key tips that's going to help you stand out from the crowd. Just a bit of a caveat. I'm based in the UK. I've only ever worked in the UK. I've worked for companies that are outside the UK, but I've only ever worked in the UK. This might not work. This might not help too much if you're in Silicon Valley, where the competition is much higher. But if you're in the UK and Europe, these tips should help you because I've worked with companies in there and they pretty much are all looking for essentially the same thing. And also, this is from a UX product kind of background. If you're looking for brand design or graphic design or media, digital media kind of design, probably not your guy to go to. But if you're looking to be a UX designer and you're sending out CVs and nothing's really coming, or you're putting your portfolio and you're struggling to kind of figure out what to do, hopefully these tips should give you something. Now, before I go into it, I'm going to assume that anyone watching this knows what UX design is. They know how to do it. They can put together a user interface for an app or a web app. If you can't, stop this video, go do a general assembly course, go and do like some sort of training on it, go on YouTube and look at design thinking, things like that. I'm going to assume that everyone knows you're already applying for jobs, so you should now have a basic grasp of how to do UX and UI design. But this is essentially my tips to make you stand out from everyone else applying. So everyone applying is going to be able to do this, but what's going to make your portfolio and your application stand out? So, and also I would say making sure that your portfolio looks nice, that everything's spelt correctly, everything's worded well, just goes without saying. If you haven't done any of that, your application's going in the bin, it's getting deleted. I get so many CVs and applications where things aren't spelt right. I can clearly see where someone either like some work is incomplete and stuff, so I just delete them because I get hundreds, so it doesn't matter to me. So here's like a few things I think will help you stand out from the crowd, and as someone hiring someone, this is what I look for. So number one is showing how you think. So as someone hiring a junior UX designer, I'm not going to hire you based on how good you are. Like obviously I want you to be good, I want you to have a level of quality and understand things, but I've never ever either been a junior designer or been in an interview with a junior designer, or when I was a junior designer, had anyone open a portfolio and go, wow, that's amazing. It just doesn't happen. And it doesn't happen because you've not been doing it as long as I have, or the person hiring you has. The mock-up that you're using, the thing you copied off Dribble, or the components you use, or things like that, I've seen it 1,000 times, but that's not a bad thing. I need to obviously see that you can have a level of quality and you can do stuff, but your work is not going to get it on its own. What I'm looking for is how you've come up with that work and how you've had that idea, how you've taken a spec or a brief and turned it into an idea, or how, I even want to see some of the ideas that didn't work. I want to see some of your crappy sketches. I want to see some of the wireframes that maybe aren't that good. I want to see that. And most of all, I want to see that with some rationale. So I want to I don't want just a picture of a wireframe. I want to see, okay, this is what the wireframe is. This is why I did a wireframe. This is why this wireframe sucks and I decided to throw it away. And this is why I think it could be better. I want to see how you think, because that's going to make me think about this person and go, is this person going to fit in my team? can we teach this person anything? Is this person willing to learn? Is this person willing to be able to fit onto my team and be able to, am I going to be able to give them loads of work straight away and they're going to be able to pick it up no problem? Am I going to have to handhold them a little bit? All these kind of things are going through my head. And, you know, some companies might be perfectly willing to have a junior designer that they want to mentor for years. Like, I've done that myself, it's fine. Like, you don't need to show that you can do everything. It depends on what the role is and depends what the company has. But you need to be honest and say, this is how I have an idea. This is where I feel that I've got strengths. This is where I feel I've got weaknesses, and I need to show them all. And I want to see how you've taken something from that idea into the final product. Because essentially, as a designer, that is your job. You're going to be given things by clients or stakeholders or product managers, and you're going to have to turn those into things that are acceptable. Because 9 times out of 10, those ideas are either not descriptive enough, sometimes just plain rubbish, or they're really loosely formed and they need help. So that's your job, is to take those ideas and make them into something that you can then pass to the rest of your team, like developers and stuff, to be able to actually make the thing. So I want to be able to see how you do that. So number one, show you how you think, show your working, show your process. Number two, work on real projects. Now, I know I've been a junior designer. This is really difficult because no one will give you client work because you're inexperienced, and because you're inexperienced, that means you don't have any client work to show, so you can't get any more jobs. I know. But when I mean work on real projects, I mean, don't just do like a Twitter redesign or a Spotify redesign or any crap. Just, they don't mean anything. Like, they just make me switch off, because all I know is, okay, let me explain why they don't work. So if you do a Spotify or Twitter or YouTube redesign, one, you don't know what the goals are for that company. How can you? Because you don't work there. You don't also have access to all the information that those companies have, right? And three, I think that the genius teams working on that company probably have a good reason why they've not done that like that. I'm sure you probably made the buttons look nicer or whatever, but it doesn't matter. What I want to see is how you've taken an idea and turned it into a product, right? So even if it's not a paid for job, if it's like an app idea that you and your mate have had, fine, absolutely fine. It doesn't have to be a working app. It doesn't have to be anything, but it needs to be something that actually simulates or is real. So it's not like a competition thing. It's not a redesign of a massive app. It could be, maybe like a piece of software you use at college is rubbish. Yeah, okay, you could probably redesign that. That's fine. But redesigning massive apps like Apple stuff or YouTube stuff and things like that, it just makes me switch off, and it makes a lot of people switch off, because there's so much that you don't know about it, and you can't really do the research. Honestly, you can't do any of it justice. You're better off just working on an app idea. I mean, you could go on Google and you could Google, app ideas and pick one and then just come up with it. It doesn't matter. I'm not really going to be judging how good your idea is or the business model of it. I just want to see how you take a brief and turn it into an app. You can ask around your friends. Everyone's got an idea for an app, or you could go and just do some work for free, like do some really low-key work for a charity or volunteer work or something like that. That'd be amazing. Also, it would add to your portfolio because it will make you look like a really nice person. So that's another plus. So second is work on projects that actually have some stake in reality. No redesigns of massive companies, none of that rubbish. Work on real projects. Third, write blogs, film videos, do what I'm doing now, vlogging or ranting or whatever. Do things that aren't pushing pixels in Sketch or Figma or whatever. Do things, show that you've got an opinion on designs. Whether, you might be a junior designer and might not know a lot, but that's fine. Show that you're learning things, talk about tech news, talk about anything like that. Show that you're up to date with what's going on. Find out what latest stuff that Apple's released or Twitter's done or YouTube's done or whatever, or Airbnb or anything like that, and comment on it. Even though you might not be the best writer, that's fine. You could film, like I said, film videos, you could do recordings, go on podcasts, do anything outside of pushing pixels that relates to the design and tech and product industry, because that shows that you've got some actual insight in it, you're interested in it, and also that you want to learn and you want to be able to, and you can bring something of value other than just the fact that you know how to use Sketch and Figma or whatever. So number three, write about blogs, videos, have some general interest in the industry and what's going on. And the fourth one is probably the most important, I would say, is read books on things. And I will add an asterisk to that. is read books on stuff that isn't design. So just let me look around here. Okay, so like I said, I still do this now. I've just bought this book. So this book is by the guy who wrote the Lean Startup. If you don't know what the Lean Startup is, it's essentially the manual of how every single startup you've ever heard of runs. This is essentially a second book that shows you how to go into big companies and make them work like startups. This is something my business is looking to do at the moment, so that's massively important to me. I always have, I'm a big reader. I always have a fiction book and a non-fiction book that's related to either business, design, product, anything. Always on the go. Like, I spend so much money on it, but I spent like about £15. What's that in dollars? Like $20 on this, right? The amount of information that it gives you in a book is thousands. I can directly attach my increase in salary to the books that I've bought. I've probably spent like $100 on books and increased my salary like 3 times by reading those books. If you've got the ability to sit and read a book and digest it, highlight bits, take bits out of it, understand it, and go over and over and over it, that puts you in front of 95% of the other people applying for that job, because they will be too lazy to read it. Not only will they be too lazy to sit down and read the books because they'd rather be drawing pretty pictures and putting them on Dribble, but it will actually, if you read books that aren't specifically just design books, and you read books about startup, you read books about product management, you read books about development, you read books about anything else going on in the startup tech industry, it will put you massively ahead of anyone else. If I look at an application that I can realize that someone has shown this working out, has some sort of interest in the tech industry, and also looks like they understand what the Lean Startup is, or have read the books on like the Design Sprint book by Jake Knapp, or any sort of other book that's interested in that, they massively will go to the head of the pile for me. And I've talked to a lot of hiring managers, a lot of heads of UX, a lot of heads of product, and they're exactly the same. The most conversations that people of heads of department have. So I've got a friend who's a head of product at a software industry, like literally just down the road from our office here in the UK. Most of the time when we go out, if we go out for coffee or drinks or whatever, apart from general chit chat, we talk about what books we've read. We trade books. Like, she gives me books on data analytics and stuff that I need to learn. I give her books on like how to run workshops and run like UX things and understanding how to work with UX designers and stuff. We trade books all the time. The most senior people in your company are talking about ideas, books, other people doing seminars or conferences. If you can find out what those are, and in this description, I'll give in this description of this video, I'll link to the Amazon links of 5 books you should buy. They'll probably you can get the whole lot, I imagine, all for under $50. Don't quote me on that, I'm not in charge of Amazon, but all for about under $50. That if you read all those books, I guarantee you'll waltz into any job being a junior designer, and you'll easily go up the ranks in a few years. If watch this video back in 5 years, and if you haven't, send me an email and I'll pay for all those books. How about that? Okay, so number 4, right? So number 4, read as many books about design and also non-design things as you can. So let's go back through those again. So as well as all the basic stuff, like learning how to do quality design, is showing how you think and how you work. Make sure you show someone your process, how you have ideas, how you take an idea from just a brief or a spec to a full product. Number 2, work on real projects. Don't do big redesigns. Don't copy things off Dribble. Work on projects, even if they're just a friend's app idea or volunteer projects. Doesn't matter, as long as it's got some stake in reality and you can actually work on it properly. Do that. Number 3, do other stuff outside pushing pixels, whether that's writing blogs, filming YouTube videos, recording a podcast, whatever. Anything about the tech and product industry, or the UX design, or anything like that. Anything outside of actually just making mockups and pushing pixels, that's going to make you massively jump to the top. And the 4th, the absolute killer, is read books, not just about design, but read books about products, startups, UX, tech in general. Go look at, you can go on YouTube and find videos from conferences completely for free. The more you understand what's going on in the industry, and the more you understand if you understand what's going on in the industry, and also if you understand what people like me, the hiring person, the senior people, if you understand what stuff I'm trying to learn and what stuff I'm interested in and what stuff I'm trying to push for, we're just going to connect like that. So if you can understand what I'm looking at, as well as having all those things, you're a shoo-in for that job. So hopefully they're the like, top 4 tips. Hopefully they should help you be able to take away, improve your portfolios, improve your applications, be a bit more confident when you're going into interviews. I might post a few more of these, like going into a bit more detail, like maybe interview technique and what questions to ask and things like that. But hopefully, if you do these 4 things, you're gonna massively 10x your chances of getting a good job in UX. So good luck with those careers. See you later.